Hello, today I've got 10 more weird records from my collection. I love weird records, whether it's for the cover art or for the content on the actual record. I love weird records. Here's some for you. This one is by a guy named Fred Miller. It's called The Sounds of Love, from A to Z, sensuously synthesized. Now this I found when I was in college, thrift store, flea market, something like that. And what it is, it sounds like some college kid's project. It's really weird. It's basically, from what I remember, it sounds like classical music run through like some kind of effects pedal, and then with bleeps and blorps from all this cool analog electronic stuff mixed in with the sounds of people moaning and groaning over it. It's amazing. It's amazing. I've had 3 of them in my lifetime. I gave one to Mark Mothersbaugh of Devo, and I love this record. It came out in 1972. A good copy of this might cost you like $30 or something online. Now, next, this is pretty strange. This is a record put out by a Roma Disc. Now, this little machine here was the Aromance Roma Disc scent machine, and it would just basically pump out perfume into your room, and what you were supposed to do is play this record along with the beautiful scents being squirted into your room. And it's, it's like stuff like Ray Conniff, Engelbert Humperdinck. It's just such a bizarre thing to own. Came out in 1978. It's not worth very much, maybe a $10 record. But I thought, how weird is that? Music for an aromatic scent machine. Next up is this medical record from 1965 by the Pfizer company. Everybody knows the Pfizer company. This is called Vascular Complications of Diabetes, and basically it's a bunch of doctors, these people here, talking about diabetes in very monotone, uninteresting voices. And I remember one of the quotes, something like, yes, and the lab animals developed diabetes spontaneously. And it was just like, it's just the weirdest stuff. I was in a band called Silica Gel, a noise band, an industrial band in the early 90s, and we used samples off this for the record. But that's a great find right here. It's probably only a $20 record if you wanted to buy it online somewhere. Now the next 3 records I have are kind of a set of weird records. It's by a record label called Law U. And it was these records, like for instance, the Law U and Divorce. It would kind of give you advice if you were going to be going through a divorce on how legally to prepare and what you would expect from divorce proceedings. Okay, so this is one of them. And again, these came out in the 60s. This is 1968. This next one here is same label, Law U. This is the Law U and Auto Accidents. Incredible, huh? Everything you wanted to know about what to do after you're in an auto accident. Now, my favorite one of the series and the most valuable one of the set, this one has sold for upwards of about $150. The Law U and Narcotics. Check this out. Drugs, laws, and penalties. And look at these people here smoking up downers, reds, LSD. And look at that guy. Look at this vampire guy with his collar up. He's like all hopped up on something. Look at his little zombie hand. Anyway, there you go. Narcotics and drugs, marijuana, LSD, heroin, speed, barbiturates, etc. Cool stuff. Yeah, but this is the most popular one of the set, obviously. Sells for the most. I would expect this whole set to go for at least a couple $100, if not more, but I ain't selling that. Now this next one is a very strange thing I found in college, flea market, thrift store. And it was in this cover, obviously not the sleeve that came with it, but it's basically a bootleg record put out on a label called Private Stock. And the caddy, you see there? The caddy. Now what it says on the outside of this is, see here, Dean Martin, Jerry Lewis, The Caddy, which is a movie that Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis were in. And this record actually is recordings, outtakes from the session where they recorded adverts for the movie. So, you know, these guys, Dean Miller and Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis, are really quite offensive on this record. They're trying to do this advert for the caddy, but they keep messing up and they keep throwing four-letter words at each other, and you know, it's just it's amazing. And you can tell that Dean Martin is pretty lit in this. He sounds pretty drunk. I don't know how this came to be. I'm guessing that somebody in the studio had it privately pressed for their friends. I have no idea the story. Negativland, the band Negativland, used parts of these recordings in their U2 single, which they got in a little bit of trouble for. All right, we're almost coming to the end here, but this is one of my favorites. Richard and Gail Miller. Now, Richard Miller was in my first 10 Weird Records video, Little Richard Miller, as he was called on that album. And that album was called Little Richard Miller, Born Without Arms and Legs, right? And then you can see here, thanks, Meowser, for hitting the camera. You can see here that Little Richard doesn't have any arms, can't see his legs, but there's his beautiful wife. And there they are, making music for the Lord. They are singing the gospel of love on this album. This was put out in 1967. I think this is sold for as high as about $60 online. Collectors are always after Richard Miller stuff, me included. All right, so this next one is one I found just recently over the last week or two. Okay, it doesn't look spectacular from the front, but My Valley by Gloria Barnes. So I picked this up in the store, and I was looking at it, and you know, sometimes when I find gospel records with really generic covers like this, I always flip them over to see what's on the back, because sometimes there's a weird story involved, or maybe just the band or the performer photo looks odd. But anyway, check this out. Here's what I saw on the back. Okay, here's Gloria. Dig the picture, okay? Dig this picture. Just look at that picture for a second, okay? Let's just really think about this picture for a minute. All right? And now I'll read what it says on the back. It says, I complained because I had no shoes until I met a man who had no feet. This old expression comes to mind when hearing Gloria sing. She is in a similar position as the man who had no feet. She was deprived of half a face. Yeah, while cancer may have ravaged her outward physical appearance, she has the most beautiful soul. Anyway, so she has half a face and really fantastic wig or some kind of hair. And great record. This one has not sold online as far as any of the sites that I checked are referencing, but I love this record. I love Gloria. I haven't listened to it yet, but I will do soon. Now, this last one is my favorite, I think, of my weird records thus far in my collecting history. I found this at a flea market or a yard sale or a thrift store. I believe it was a thrift store. And at first, when I pulled this out of the bin, I thought this was just the inside cover of a record. Like this was like the inner sleeve, because it has all the tracks and it's just all. But this is actually the cover of the record, and this is by somebody named Kay Armstrong. The record is titled "Because I Love You," right there. Now Kay did all the graphics and all the layout, all the text on this. And this came out in 1979. Look at the dancing couples there that she drew. Okay, it says here, Kay at the organ. There's Kay at the organ, right? Here's all the songs. And you see the track listing. After each song, she hand wrote her name after each song as the author of that song. Okay, we go down here, Kay at the organ. I mean, just look at this. Organ solos with instrumental accompaniment. Music for dancing, underlined. This is definitely music for dancing. Words to Kay's 10 songs are inside this album. You, double underlined, can sing along too. Okay, so now, let's open this up. It gets more interesting. Check this out. Gatefold cover. Okay, she's got all the songs listed, right? The lyrics. There's her again at the organ. Right? And she even points out there, that's Kay at the organ, right there. BMI, very important that she did that. Now, one of the things I want you to realize about this is that everything she does seems to be in a square, right? She's really into squaring off everything. And that's going to be important when I show you the back cover. Now, let's read this really quick. These 10 songs were composed by Kay Armstrong. She composed both the music and the words. In this album, she plays the 10 songs on the organ, underlined. She wrote all her own arrangements. In this album, Kay sings, double underlined, these songs too. At 16 years of age, Kay had her own orchestra. She was always a professional pianist and professional organist, right? Now, dig the back cover. This is where it gets really interesting, okay? The back cover, you can see here, more information about the songs. Here are 10 songs, all copyrighted, December 28, 1979, by Kay Catherine M. Armstrong. These were copyrighted under the collective title, book form. They are under title Because I Love You, with arrows pointing at the title. Okay, now, here's where it gets strange. So her address is here. Right here, okay, so here it's autographed by Kay, right? In a square, in different ink. So that's actually hand autographed by Kay. Why is it autographed by Kay? I have my theory on that. Now here is an autograph by somebody named Dick Purton, Dick Purton. He was a semi-famous radio DJ. I can't remember, somewhere in Michigan. He was a famous, I think, Michigan DJ, and this is signed to Doris, happy birthday, a real music lover. So this is probably a gift from a DJ to a friend of his as kind of a joke, right? A joke gift. This was probably an album that got sent to the radio station by Kay herself, who is also in Michigan, autographed by Kay. She probably only autographed the ones that went to radio stations, I would assume. But anyway, isn't this just amazing, this whole package? And when you listen to the record, when I listen to the music, it just sounds like a sweet little old lady singing organ songs. It's so great. Let me pull out some lyrics here. Let's see. I'm happy again, okay? I'm happy again. I'm in a heaven of my own. I'm happy again. Since I have you, I'm not alone. It's easy to see that I'm yours and you are mine. I want you to be an everlasting clinging vine, right? Poetry, organ theatrics, great photos and artwork, all by Kay Armstrong. If I was a tattoo getting person, I would get this right here, along with Kay's autograph somewhere on my body. But I am not a tattoo getting person. Anyway, I'm going to keep digging for weird records, and I'll keep showing you them here. Please like this video. Please subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate you guys, and I will talk to you next time. May the rock and roll gods bless you.